Hey, anyone and everyone who's watching, welcome. Still trying to figure out this live stream using my cell phone, but anyhow, someday. So the goal tonight is to uh, create one of these guys, little N scale pine tree. Um, that's one size, and I've got another. Find it here. A little bigger. This is what I started with. A little bigger. Um, they might work if I can get some trees above it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll make some this size as well, but I'm kind of liking the smaller size. So anyhow, there's a lot of prep work. So the initial uh, tree, the bigger tree, that was from these bamboo skewers. The key was that they were 6 inches tall, which would give me the right height for a tall pine tree, mature pine tree. And started off, the wrong ones. Started off just taking the raw skewer and hitting it with some brown spray paint. What I used was just this Rust-Oleum camouflage paint in flat earth brown. I think any brown, flat or otherwise, you could spray it. Um, different color. And then I just kind of lightly glazed over it with this. It was a glossy pewter, just a gray. I wanted a gray, and you can kind of see the gray versus. Um, oh, hey, welcome others. You can see the gray speckling, if you will. Um, and I did the same thing with the smaller barbecue skewers. The key for me is the large ones. While I like the length, the 6 inches, the diameter, it's a little bit big. It would be like a 25-foot diameter tree. These are a little bit smaller, so maybe they'd be 20, 20-foot diameter in scale, end scale. So anyhow, I just stuck them in some cardboard, spray painted them. I like to store point size down that way, not stabbing myself, right? So we'll just move these to the side. So that was prep. I was pre-prepared because who wants to watch paint dry, right? The other thing is that you need is some filter fabric. Now there's the blue stuff. Get some more light on here. There's the blue stuff. I just couldn't find it, so I found this on Amazon. It's for your air conditioner, the vents in your floor. It's polyester. That works all right. But pine trees aren't white. Their branches aren't white, and that's what this is going to simulate. So took it out back and sprayed it up with a black, flat black. And then I came back with so started with flat black, just soaked it really good. Then I came back with this flat deep forest green. And then I hit a few spots. You can kind of see it here. Right, you can kind of see that shade variation with a, what color is it? Oh, this is just an army green. So a little bit lighter green, just to give you some variation. It really doesn't show up, but it's kind of nice to know it's there. So anyway, the first step after that is really just take a pair of scissors. Now, I've seen some people online go an inch. I've been going a little bit wider. And you just cut off a strip. All right, I'll get rid of that. Make some squares. They don't have to even be perfect. You could even do some rectangles. Get some longer ones. Rough squares. And from here, you just want to kind of start rounding it. So I just kind of cut the corners. And then I just try to connect those edges in a rough. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, right? Because it's nature. But you don't want, I don't like this flat edge. And I think you can see some of that in my first example. I was making them taller. You can see some of these flat, hard edges. I'm going to have to come back and cut some of that. Or maybe it on the layout, you won't see it. Oh, everything's crashing. So now you're left with this little round circle. But you're like, hey, Twitch, like that doesn't look right. So what I do is, you can see where there's a dense layer there. Peel some of that off. Gets me one circle. Peel up the interior fuzz. You can use that later. Even though it's a lighter color, it's good. And then I just kind of rough it up, stretch it out a little bit, pull it this way. There we go. There we go. You can see how fine that is. And I thought I had a bunch of pre-cuts already made up. Don't know what I did with them. So I will just make another set here. These really don't take a lot of time, but they are messy. You can already see all the fiber linters on the cutting mat. Like I said, I like to take that fluff, I set that aside. I can do a lot of fill in. Just kind of get it stretched out a little bit. And we'll take one of these pre-painted ones. Yeah. I like tacky glue because it kind of stays in place. So for this one, I'll just put a little dab right around there. And we just take one of these guys, jab it through, get it into the glue. I don't know if you guys can hear the cars on the highway out there racing. One more glue. Take another one. I also like to make smaller circles so they're not all the same size and go smaller as I get closer to the top. And again, you can see how this kind of offsets a little bit. Once it's easier once it's dry, just to kind of tease these out on the edges. I didn't make any. I know I have some small pieces here somewhere. Of course, I did not set up a stand. Oh, I did. I just like using paper or clothespins. They're cheap and they're easy to. This one doesn't want to cooperate tonight. There we go. Yeah, like I said, you cut out some smaller circles, right? Like this one was smaller, so I'll just exaggerate, make a really small. Circle, because I mean, like 4 yards of that material was like $4 delivered to my door. So to get closer to the top, that's where I would leave that one. This clothespin, I think I know why I was sitting in the sin bin. Anyhow, what you end up with, if you play your cards right, is something like this. So you can see the glue dries clear. You got that staggered bit. If you don't like the way some of them are sticking out, you can always just come in, trim them, even this way a little bit. So I've got that one. I've got Another little one here that I worked on. Now this whole stem or trunk doesn't have to be shown, right? You can push that into the, it could be this big, or it could be one like this, and maybe that's where you want some of that little fuzz and put some of the greenery on there. Anyhow, the next step to do is to get yourself some scenic cement or make your own, which is just PVA and water. I think it's closer to like 50-50, maybe 60-40 water to glue. I just have a whole bunch in this old Greek yogurt tub I used to make trees before. So you can see it's just very liquidy. You can see some sludge down in there. Let's take this one. It's got a little more fiber on it. And so I'm going to take it off the little clippy. Makes it easier. And all I do, let's see if I can see this on camera, is I just submerge it in there. Just make sure it all gets, you can see how liquidy it is. There's some old tree from making the autumn trees. These would be a nice green contrast on the railroad from the autumn trees. And there you go, right? So I'm going to close this up to keep it from drying out, number one. And number two, let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Remember, this is our goal. And so I've got a whole bunch of trees started. I got this box. See, there's lots of greens there, but that's because I started with, which one did I start with? Oh, this fine turf. Green grass, it's very green. And just start sprinkling it on. Nice, you know. That's why I'm doing it over the box. Number one, I don't want to go everywhere. And number two, I got enough of the green in there. Get on the bottom. So that I can actually just pull some up. Sprinkle it right in place. And now while that glue is in there, you're going to get stuff everywhere. Now the key for this is, where'd my paper clip, my clip go? It's just to nice. See, you can get a lot on there. That nice green color. Tap it off. Just set it aside someplace where it's going to dry. We'll just stick it over there. So stage two, you're going to get something like this once it's dry. This was an earlier one. You can see it. It's, I tried to make up. This, I'm not really happy with that one. But again, in a big forest of trees, right? So if you look at some of my taller trees, that's kind of the finished stage, right? You still can see some of the black in here, which is good because they're supposed to be little branches. I do have another one I want to work on that's going to be partially dead. But the next step, we're going to take this one. Instead of using more of that liquid, because it's going to take forever to dry, the scenic cement, and it's also, it may reactivate and you'll lose a lot of that. Just take some cheap hairspray, all right? Not that I need it. And just give it a light coat. So act like an adhesive. And then I come back with, this is still a green blend, but it's a little coarser. It's a turf blend. And that's in this mixture as well. And I just, same as before. You can see a slight color variation there. A little lighter. just to bring out like the tips. And again, take that, set it aside. It'll dry a lot quicker now. Like the scenic cement, I let that sit overnight. Oh, it's not standing up off camera. All right. Why? I'm not live streaming, man. These things just crank right out. Of course, when you're live streaming, everybody wants to fight you. So now you end up with, do I have a demo model? Once that's dry, you get something that looks like this. So it's a little different, a little less green. It's kind of toned down a little bit. You can see here, it looks starting to get there. So let's work on this one. You can see it's kind of crusty. So again, we're gonna come back with our hairspray. Oh, I guess. Yeah, this is for my model railroad. It's not my day job. Now, semi-retired engineer, got laid off with all this crap from our new government. Yay. So I'm working part-time, but this is taking my time. Now I take some of my favorite, you can see blended turf. It's earth blend. So it kind of gives you that little bit of a dead look. And I go really light with this. Again, just top down. Try to get it even. And for me, I don't know if it picks it up on camera. It really just kind of highlights the darkness underneath. And I like that a lot. Again, you let that set aside and dry. Now, I'll set that over there. One other thing you can do, oh, there's all my little samples, is if you are a teetotaler, you can save up your, I have to go get these, you have to save up your tea bags and let them dry out. And I suggest just putting them in an oven at your lowest setting just to dry them out because you don't want any liquid on them. If you could heard that whistle, that's the dog. And then grind them up. Whoop. And you end up with this fantastic brown color. I like it because it simulates like dead, right? So let's take this little guy and real quick, we will, I don't know if I have another one started. That was drying. Should have made up one more. This was kind of an ad hoc thing I just thought of. I'll get them soaked up. I'll try to get a lot of this stuff off. Get these little bits off. I'm still gonna go with some of this green mix. Like sometimes you see pine trees where they're like dead on one side. I'm gonna just lay it on real thick and heavy on this side. Then a real high light dusting over here. Tap, tap. And now like you could leave it like this and you can see some of that, but let's try. Let's just scoot this out of the way. Not really about cross contamination, but you know. And while it's still drying, a little hairspray just to help. I'm gonna take this brown. And it's like this one, maybe he's gotten diseased or something got into it. Even the top is starting to lose. So, like I said, it's got to dry. And I'll come back and hit this other side with this. I'm going to violate everything I just said. I'm just going to come back and do it, see how it comes out. A little bit on this side too. This tree's under distress. Let's see how that looks. Go beans. I like it. All right. So, like I said, we started with just this, greens and grays. We got everything up to this stage with lots of bright greens. We dulled it down a little bit with some coarser green, but not so bright. And then we added some fine turf, but in a dark yellowy color. It's a different size tree. And we made one that's under stress, and I can't really touch because it's super wet. And for me, I may even make some out of just plain old cocktail sticks, just to kind of do a forced perspective. I have a mountain range that I need to work on, and yeah, just kind of push that perspective. So that's the railroad stuff for tonight, guys. Super quick, dirty. I'll work over the next couple of days building some more of these trees, then we'll put them on the layout and see what they look like. Anything else? No, not really. That was it. How to build pine trees. What'd that take us? All of less than 25 minutes. Now, I had a lot of pre-prep work, right? So painting the sticks. It's spray paint. It'll be dry in half an hour. I spray painted them one day, late in the afternoon. Let them sit out in the yard and off gas. I had to spray both tops and bottoms to get them a uniform color, and then the next day, the same day, I sprayed up the white fiber and turned that into blacky green fiber. Let that sit out and off gas. Then I came back and I just cut a whole bunch of different size squares, made circles out of them, stretched them out, started with the tacky glue, gluing them on, and let them sit. I only prepared enough for this little video to see if I would even like them. Teased them out, right? So like this guy here, right? So he's got some hard edges on him. And you can just start pulling because it's glued to the base, and get away from some of those hard, flat, man-made like looks. And then, like I said, you can take your scissors, wherever the heck I left those, and just trim up. I think they're under the box. Just start trimming it up and shaping it however you want it shaped. I mean, it's your tree. It's living in your world, like Bob Ross used to say. And again, that glue's got to sit. So you got a day, a painting day, trim and cut day, gluing on day, and let that sit. So there's 2 days in. And then you've got a day where you soak it in the in this stuff, right? And put on your first bright coat and go from bright to light, light to dark. And that's got to sit overnight. So there's day number 3. Day number 4, it's all hairspray. That takes, how long does it take hairspray to dry? I don't know. I don't use hairspray, but 10 10, 15 minutes, and you put multiple coats on. But you know, the alternative is to buy what they deem bottle brush pine trees. All right, I got these things, and they had all kinds of glitter and shit on them, and I just sprayed them with dark spray. You can see the kind of the brown. You can still see some of the glitter coming through. They had some snow on them. They come out at Christmas time. I still like these. These may end up getting some flock on them, but mostly I use these for tabletop gaming, so I don't care. Right? It's all wire. It's not going to break. You don't have. You can be kind of rough with it, and it just serves a purpose of looking like this might represent 20 trees or something. It's just a. This is a forest. You put 2 or 3 of these on a piece of plywood, you got a forest. But I'm building a scale model railroad. It's kind of like building a diorama and a model. So I like doing these. Now for bigger scales, like 1/35th scale dioramas that I've done in the past, obviously you got to get bigger and thicker. And these have been floating around for a very long time. So it's like a 1/4 inch dowel. I actually at that point scraped up the surface to give it some bark texture, did some painting and a lot of gray. And then I used coconut coir to, because now you can see the individual branches, but this would be way out of scale. For instance, let me just grab a box car here. So this box car, I don't have a small one. This is like a 60, 70 foot box car in N scale. All right, like that doesn't look realistic at all. It's too big. Oh, hit the camera. That just looks cheesy. But look at this one. That looks, even if it's a short one, or if this is, the landscape going by, that looks pretty good. Oh, don't fall over. You're still drying. Even this big, tall 6-incher, right? It's pretty big, but that'd be like a 120 to 140 inch foot tree in real life. It's kind of weird, man. You don't think about it. Go out and look in the woods. You'll see pine trees are some mature ones are big. So I kind of like this size myself. They look really more in scale what I want. Plus, none of these are going to be by the railroad itself. There might be a couple up on a hill, but they're all going on a landscape on a hill to do some forced perspective. Anyhow, for those of you who stuck around to the end, thank you very much. And we'll get back to you. Next Saturday, I'll be on vacation. Birthday bash out to San Francisco. So I'm hoping to shoot maybe a live, depending on what's going on Saturday. It's a couple, I think there's at least 1 steam engine, maybe 2 steam engine train rides. One through Yosemite, one through up to Napa for to a vineyard, and the third one is all around hitting a couple different vineyards. So if we get an opportunity, I'll go live. If not, there'll at least be some train on the vacation stuff. But for all of you that stayed, thank you, and good night. This is where I forget how to turn the darn thing off. I'm gonna have to edit this down because this is, there we go.